Plan Perfect Weddings in Kent. Sonas is delighted to bring you the first in a series about starting wedding venues around the UK and Ireland. We will focus on the legalities and everything you need to do to comply with the local legislation and get up and running. First up, the Garden of England and hotspot for weddings in the UK, Kent. We'll go step by step through everything you need to get your wedding venue up and running in no time. Part 1. Licensing your venue. Usage and premises license. You may already have these if you're starting with an existing venue, and if so, but if not, you'll first need to license your venue. This consists of 2 steps: change of use and getting your premises license. First, you need to apply for planning permission to change the use of your venue to a licensed premises and be able to hold events. This is something handled by each borough council. Once you have that, you then need to apply for your premises license. Again, this is handled by the borough council. See the link in the description to direct you to the correct council if you enter your venue's postcode. An article from Levi Solicitors goes into more detail on the legalities. The link is available in the description. If you're planning to offer catering to your clients, you need to register your own food premises and undergo an inspection by the Food Standards Agency. You can see more details about what's required in the description link, as well as the link to start the application process. Part 2. Your venue. Once those are done, we need to apply for the wedding licence from Kent County Council. Before we apply though, you can save yourself some time by ensuring you have the following in order. Health and safety. Ensure your venue complies with health and safety regulations, including fire safety measures such as marked emergency exits, fire alarms, and accessible fire extinguishers. Accessibility requirements. Ensure you provide wheelchair access, accessible restrooms, and clear signage. You might want to consider assistive technologies like hearing loops for guests with impairments. If your venue is an old building where making these adaptations would be difficult or impossible, there is some leeway granted. Noise ordinances. There might be restrictions on noise in your planning depending a lot on where you are or if there are objections. You should check maps of your local area and see how many residences are close by. Taking proactive measures like installing sound limiters or advanced directional speaker systems might be a wise investment. Public liability insurance. Whilst not a legal obligation, it's highly recommended to have public liability insurance. Exactly what amount of cover you require will depend on your circumstances. We advise you to contact an insurance broker to determine the appropriate amount. Policies range from 1 to 10 million, but premiums can be quite small for the amount of cover offered. Photo by Shardai. Photography/Unsplash. Part 3. Ceremony areas. To operate year-round, you'll need both indoor and outdoor spaces. Kent County Council specifies that civil marriages and partnerships are generally only permitted in outdoor structures like gazebos during British summertime, BST, from the last Sunday in March to the last Sunday in October. Outside these dates, it comes down to discretion of the registrar on the day, although it's unusual for them to insist on it being inside if the weather is acceptable. There are also some general requirements for your areas. The space must be separate from any other activity on the premises during the proceedings. Technically, no alcohol can be sold an hour before or during the ceremony. In reality, you can serve alcohol, just not in the ceremony area, and guests can't enter the ceremony area with the alcohol. The areas must be permanent and non-religious structures providing a dignified environment. It must be distinct and separate from other activities during the ceremony. Outdoor spaces have some specific requirements regarding the durability and also how many people it can accommodate. Specifically, it must have space for at least the couple, 2 staff and a table, so bear that in mind when constructing your perfect gazebo. You can find a lot more detail and some pictures of acceptable structures in a Kentish Weddings guide in the description. See pages 8 and 9. Part 4. Get your wedding license. So now that your venue and areas are in order, it's time to get the ball rolling by applying for your wedding license. You can call KCC on 03 00041 4003 or email them at kentish.ceremony@kent.gov.uk. The first step will be a free inspection of your venue. This is the perfect time to clear up any doubts you may have about your venue with the council. If they think your venue meets all the requirements, then the application process begins in earnest. How much does it cost? A 3-year license including 1 ceremony room costs £2,200. Any additional ceremony rooms or areas are £110 each if you include them in the initial application. It's worth getting all your areas licensed in the initial application, as adding them later will cost you £500. See page 18 in the guide mentioned earlier. How long will it take? The license normally takes between 8 to 10 weeks to process. During this time, KCC will publish your application on their website for 21 days to allow for public objections. Part 5. Carrying out ceremonies. Booking. Once you have your license, you will also receive your login to KCC's Ceremony Online Booking System, CARA for short. This is where you can book your ceremony date and registrar. You should try to book your ceremony date as soon as possible to avoid disappointment, although KCC has an ample staff of registrars on hand. Paperwork/legal issues. Once you have booked the date for the couple and entered the basic contact details for the couple, KCC will then get in touch directly with the couple and handle all the paperwork and legal issues directly with them. The ceremony. The ceremonies must be conducted by a KCC registered celebrant and follow legal protocols, including the exchange of vows and the presence of witnesses. It's important to note that the official ceremony cannot include any religious content. However, once the official ceremony is finished, you are free to perform any additional ceremony according to the traditions of the couple. Part 6. Ongoing compliance and renewals. Ongoing obligations. You must prominently and permanently display your wedding license and premises license along with a comments and suggestions box. Ensure you stay in compliance with your wedding license, as KCC may perform a spot inspection at any time, although in practice this rarely happens. License renewal. Venue licenses in Kent must be renewed every 3 years. KCC should send a renewal form before the renewal date that you fill in and use to pay your fee. Part 7. Streamlining venue management. Getting all of this set up is a lot of work, but now comes the really difficult part, running hundreds of weddings a year and ensuring everything goes off without a hitch. That's where you really should also consider using specialized software for venue management, like Sonas. Sonas is an all-in-one platform to manage your wedding venue efficiently, handling everything from event planning to compliance. Specifically with booking ceremonies with KCC, Sonas helps you collect the data you need directly from the couple and keeps them updated on the status of their booking. You can easily browse your upcoming events and quickly see that all your ceremonies are duly booked. Launching your wedding venue may involve a lot of steps, but once everything is in place, you'll be set to welcome couples to a perfectly compliant and stunning venue. By staying on top of the legalities and using management tools like Sonas, you can focus on what truly matters, creating unforgettable wedding experiences for your clients.